So, if I'm understanding the situation correctly, you want to transition secretly. And that's super fair. Well, it's scary. Understandable. So, allow me to give you tips on transitioning secretly from someone that did do a lot of sneaky transitioning. We're going to go over things that can be done without telling anyone and things that can be done telling only some people, right? So, without further ado, let's figure out how to get this little stealth mission started, shall we? So, there's a couple of things we want to do in transition, right? Social stuff, hormonal stuff, beyond. Let's focus on social and things you can do for your body that can help you feel more comfortable in social situations. These are subtle things. This won't be anything drastic. So, leg hair. Chances are you might have some leg hair, and there is a way to simply get rid of it without anyone suspecting a single thing. All you have to do is you have to just go to a shop, okay? And you will buy a lot of men's razor products. Now, I know it feels bad to buy men's products. I mean, that's probably why you're here. Dysphoria sucks. You can use razors you use for your face just fine as well. That's perfectly fine. It's okay if that's dysphoria inducing, but we're going to use that dysphoria inducing object to create something euphoric. So let's view that as a win. So here's the situation. We can eliminate leg hair using shaving cream and razors. You can acquire all of these without buying any product that be labeled as feminine, which means you can acquire these without anyone really questioning your motives, which is good for us because we want to do this secretly and sneakily. So you may be wondering, how do you actually use these things? So unlike shaving a face where you mostly will strike downwards, usually I've seen some people shave up. With legs, make sure you have plenty of shaving cream on the legs and gently raise it up the leg little by little. The first time you do this, it will suck. The amount of hair that will be there will be more than if you do it your second or third time, right? It'll be dysphoric, it'll suck, but it'll be really smooth afterwards. And you know what's good about that? You can try out cute leg wear, which segues into clothes. You don't have to do anything drastic to acquire clothes, luckily. Instead, all you need is a bit of ingenuity. So, the common obstacle for getting clothes as a trans person that is closeted is the peril of physical stores. Now, I'm going to offer alternatives, but I just want to make one thing really, really clear. If you go to a shop that's not near where you live, you can literally just walk in, buy it, leave. No one will ever question you. And if they do, you're not going to be there again. So while I'm going to suggest alternatives, know that the easiest way is to literally walk in like you own the place, buy something, and then just dip. You don't have to use changing rooms. Grab something that'll be approximately your size, grab it, buy it, leave. We have to be quick in a stealth mission after all. We can't leave too much cause for suspicion. Also, to add an extra bit of context, if you look nervous in if you look nervous in a clothes store, you will look like you aren't belonging there, right? If you try to present confidently, no one's really going to care. And you can do the old, "it's for my girlfriend" response. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. See, the first time I got clothes at a clothes store, a friend at the time looked at the store clerk dead in the eye and said, "Oh, it's for my friend. But she's like the same height as this person and the same size," and gestures to me, being a nervous boy murder, as they say. And, you know, despite that being the worst plan of attack imaginable to actually get what you want, it did work. Like, it was stressful, it was nerve-wracking, but it worked, right? I'll give her credit for that. And nothing else. See, it just works. You can literally just walk in, act confident, make an excuse, girls' clothes, bam. But what if you don't want to do that? And if you don't, that's super fair. How else do we acquire gender-affirming things? So, if you have access to such a thing, you can buy PO boxes, which is basically an alternate mailing address in a remote location. You can get one of these and just have your online packages go to there. Or, now this is the big if you have at least one person you trust with this secret of ours, well, less of a secret, but you know what I mean. If you have at least one person you can trust, enter their address into eBay, Amazon, whatever you're using. If you do this, the package will go to them, and they can securely hand it to you. If the trusted person in question is an IRL friend, literally just go to the shop and get them to buy one for you. It's the quickest way. And they will have no idea it's for you, just generally. That is a super helpful tip, I find. That was a really big deal. And my early transition was getting other people to buy clothes for me. I only had one instance where it didn't work, but that was only because I tried to use the change room. And that was a bit more obvious. But other times it was fine, so, you know, we take the risks. But if you want to do it completely secure, not telling literally anyone, I recommend either PO box or playing a bit risky with the delivery. When stuff arrives in delivery, only you know how suspicious your surrounding people will be of your delivery. See if you can get a delivery from a store that will have like multiple things in the same box, and just try to order a couple of stereotypical masculine things in the same box so that the clothes delivery won't look suspicious if you're asked to present or whatever, if you're in a controlling household. And if so, I'm sorry. This strategy might work. Might be crazy enough to work. If you're a high school student like I was when I first did this, my biggest tip to you: find a cis girlfriend that you trust and ask if she has clothes she wants to throw out. The clothes you will be handed might be rancid. They might be dirty. They might be not great. But it's something. And a lot of the clothes I was handed to back then, ooh, it looked really bad. It was probably the worst clothes I think I've ever worn, but whatever. I don't want to think about it. But hey, it got me through it. So, I highly recommend doing a little clothes swap. But you may be wondering, Lucy, where do I hide my clothes that I now have? Well, I hope you got to this part of the video before you ordered stuff, but basically, here's my tip. When I was in high school, I had a school bag, right? In that school bag, the top of the bag would be my lunchbox, pencils, pencil cases, and my books. Underneath would be my girls' clothes. This ensured that I had the ability to change into girls' clothes at friends' houses, but for a more secretive intent, you can simply use this to our advantage. What this means is, you can hide clothes at the bottom of a school bag and keep it there. It's in plain sight. I know, it sounds stupid, but it works. No one checks the bottom of someone's bag, and if they do, just know you're not at fault for not liking this person. Truth is, hiding thing in a bag, very practical. If you need extra security though, definitely try to grab a bag that looks like one you don't use anymore. Grab that little old bag, put it in that, and slide it under your bed or something. That way, a little less suspicious. Maybe a bag that's been sitting around for a long time. The other idea is you can actually just grab the girls' clothes and shove it at the back of boys' clothes. On its own, it probably won't stick out that much, to be honest. Unless it's all bright pink and frilly, but You know, most clothes will just kind of blend in unless you really dig in. But clothes isn't everything, is it? So what do we do about wigs or hair in general? The reason I say wigs is if you're watching a video about how to transition secretly, I will politely assume you haven't had a chance to grow out your hair, likely due to circumstances you can't control, and that's fair enough. I was there. I wasn't allowed long hair when I was younger, so I had to improvise with wigs. I'm a really big fan of wigs, but that's because I kind of had to be. I used so many wigs. This is one of the last ones I got as a teenager, actually. A lot of my really old ones I had when I started, they're kind of broken at this point and not in great shape. Why, you may ask? Because I wore it so much. And I wasn't good at taking care of them. So, how do you get a wig without seeming suspicious? Now, granted, a wig is a bit harder to hide, but I do have a way to acquire one. Now, obviously this tip isn't as intuitive if you don't normally do this, but if you happen to go to conventions, pop culture ones, like anime conventions, gaming conventions, that kind of thing, they'll usually have cosplay wigs. The reason this is relevant, and I did a whole wig video, cosplay wigs are usually higher quality than a party wig, which a party wig is probably what your local store is going to have, and that won't do, I'm afraid. That said, if you only have that option, why not, right? But if accessible to you, if you go to an anime convention and you buy a girl wig, no one's going to judge you, like at all. Heck, if you want to get girls' clothes at an anime convention, probably the best time to do it. Some anime conventions straight up have regular clothing stores that will have stores there, usually leaning in the more punky or like alt girl territory because that's most of their market. But going to these kind of conventions, very useful, very practical, and most importantly of all, discreet. I guarantee you won't be the only closeted trans person trying to buy stuff there. Not even kidding. I guarantee, even if you seem nervous, they'll be like, oh, here comes another one. All right, here you go. They won't be too worried. Don't worry. Like, realistically, I've seen anime conventions, people being like really buff people will like be presenting as Misty from Pokemon or something, and no one bats an eye. You know, you'll go to the bathroom and there'll just be a furry chilling, and like that's normalized in this context. You know, it's just, they're just chilling. And granted, we should probably always be chill to anyone that's just existing. It goes to anyone. People in the LGBT spectrum. LGBT spectrum? I don't know if that's the right word. Rainbow umbrella. Furry community. All sorts of things. Let's be nice to people. Alright. So, other options that are discreet. Skincare. Yes, skincare. I know it doesn't sound interesting, but it's important. I promise you. Skincare is key, okay? When you see all the uwu trans girls on TikTok or YouTube, they always have perfect skin. Now granted, a lot of the videos you likely watch, they use filters. This video, for instance, doesn't use I don't intentionally use a filter, but I think phones have like a built-in filter, right? So that will probably affect how I look in a video. My skin looks way clearer in videos than real life. That's just another example of the social mediaification of everything. Now you don't have to look like a model to be a girl. Not even cis girls are able to appeal to crazy beauty standards. So, how do we do skincare? Yeah, so the thing is, you don't have to get stereotypically feminine skincare. You can just get a moisturizer, that's fine. A cleansing milk, which is also really good, a cleanser. Those might be branded a bit more feminine, but by that I mean we'll have flowers on it. I don't think the cashier will really care. And if you want to be extra sneaky, place that in a giant shopping trip so that just everything kind of blends together. And there's more deniability that it's for someone else, you know? So you want to practice dressing femme. Yes, you want to practice because you won't get it first try at all. Wherever you can, wearing a dress in bed with the sheets to cover it, practicing makeup right before a shower, whether it's driving a bit far away from where you are to go to a shopping center, no one knows you. And my personal favorite, if you're on a trip, it's probably the best time to try dressing up because no one knows you in places you don't live. But those opportunities come once in a blue moon. What about opportunities you can do whenever? When you get a little bit of time to yourself at home, or even when you're home alone and you have the door and you gotta close it. That door's been closing many times early on when dressing femme secretly. The thing to learn how to do is to get clothes on and to get clothes off. You need to make sure you know how to get everything on and off. Specifically the off part. Don't wait for a high-risk situation to figure that out. If the people in your house are only going to be out for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, maybe don't try to learn how to use a bra for the first time. But when you have a bit more time, really figure out how to do it, right? Get used to it. Get used to using wigs. Get used to taking wigs off. And get used to fixing up your hair after using a wig. I forgot this a few times, my bad. I think that was my closest calls. If you figure out how to change out of your clothes in less than a minute, that's good. Ideally, see if you can get out of your clothes in 30 seconds. That will mean that if you hear a car pull up, you can just swap out. If you get good at speed changing, it really opens up the ability to present as yourself whenever a single bit of alone time arises. What do you do while you're dressed up? Other than the dressing up part, you just go about your day. You just go about your day. Life goes on. Whatever you normally do, try doing that, but in girls' clothes if the opportunity allows it. And honestly, that's kind of all there is to it, really. I mean, if we want to get ahead of ourselves a bit, DIY HRT does exist. I can't speak to it because I haven't used it. But you can start HRT without social transition in a lot of cases if you want to, and let the effects slowly happen. And to do that, well, you'd probably have to see a doctor that's not too close to your local community to avoid suspicion. But even though this video is about hiding for safety, I want to encourage that it's important to be yourself. And even if you feel like you're being sneaky and deceptive, dressing up in secretive environments, that's fine. Just know that. All you're doing is for yourself, and it's okay to present femme if it feels better for you. That's just the thing. Even if it's a secret now, one day it won't be. In a good way. I remember so often when I would dress up, even for like 10-20 minutes, I'd look and make all the selfies in the world, touch up my wig, learn makeup, try new clothes that I got from friends, and it got me for everything. Those tough moments, those difficult moments. I'm very thankful for that opportunity, and I hope you get that opportunity. It's important to be yourself, and even if you don't have that opportunity yet, I hope this video helps you get those opportunities. There's no one way to do transition. This is just an example. Some examples come from very personal experiences. I was a bit sneaky. But if you take in all I've learned and you try what you think you feel comfortable attempting, I wish you luck. And, you know, you'll probably do better than me first try. When I went to the shops, my wig fell off straight away. Nice. Learn how to make sure your wig cap doesn't fall off. That's my other tip. You probably can't do worse than that. In a very rational, realistic scenario. So again, wherever you are in the world, do what's comfortable for you. Do what you feel safe doing. And I hope this gave you some ideas to present how you want to present. Even if it's not as much as you'd like, it's something. And I hope that something gets you through it. And you end up being able to present as yourself. So, with that all said, if you want more trans-related content, be sure to subscribe. Wow. Incredible. We do voice lessons on Patreon. How exciting. And we'll have more videos coming up because I have a bit more of a freed up schedule, so I'm able to spend more time on videos. I don't have to rush as much, which is nice. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out, so I hope you enjoyed this particular video. Until next time, stay hydrated and know that you are valid.